Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands. In this video we are playing Warhammer 40k in a 500 points match that sees Orks vs Death Guard. I'm Simone and I will play the Orks.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I will play the Death Guard. Before we started, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back. If you're not subscribed yet and want to help us, join our growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys.
Today's mission is Encircle. The two armies will have to deploy within these two areas. There are 4 objectives and they are arranged in this way. As secondary objectives, Death Guard have chosen Fleeing Vectors, Domination and Assassinate, while the Orks have Slay the Warlord, Attrition and Abort the Witch. Both armies start with 3 command points.
Let's move on to the description of the armies. Planet Hesperia, a Death Guard detachment has located an Imperial outpost and is preparing to assault it. Once at the outpost, they found a little surprise. Orks! Orks everywhere! Come on guys, eliminate them all! My Death Guard belong to the Plague Company Harbingers. The general of the army is Typhus and as general trait he has Chamber Rot. He is armed with a mastercrafted Night Reaper and Blight Grenades. He can try to manifest 2 psychic powers and no smite as base power plus 2 powers from the Contagion discipline, Gift of Contagion and Plague Wind. Moving on, we have a Biologus Putrifier with the Relic Superating Plate that gives him a 2+ armor save. He is equipped with a Plague Knife, an Inoculator Gun, Hyper Blight Grenades and Crack Grenades. The next unit is composed of 1 Plague Champion armed with Demonic Plague Blade and Plasma Gun, 1 Plague Marine armed with Blight Launcher, 1 Marine with Sigil of Decay and Bolt Rifle, 1 Marine with Plasma Gun and 3 more Marines with Bolt Rifles. Every model in this unit also has Blight Grenades, Crack Grenades and Plague Knife. Finally, there are my 13 Poxwalkers armed with improvised weapons, whose sole purpose is to take an objective and protect it until the end. Every model in my army has an aura called Contagions of Nargol, and each round increases the contagion range of this aura, starting with 1 inch in the first round, up to 9 inches after the 4th round. All the enemy models inside this ability have their toughness reduced by 1.
A detachment of Orks was finishing raiding a recently abandoned Imperial warehouse on the planet Hesperia. The Greenskins were enjoying a quiet evening filled with fistfights and arm wrestling competitions when a terrible stench invaded the area. An even stronger smell than the mixed sweat of Squigogs and Orks after a ride. Something rotten was approaching. Arm yourself, Orks, there is a real fight to do. This army belongs to the evil Sunz, and the general is Zodgrod Wortsnagga. He is armed with Snagga and a Grabzappa. As a troop, I chose the Beastgob Boyz and deployed them in a unit of 15 models. With their toughness 5 and the vulnerable save of 6, they are a truly terrifying unit. I also chose a unit of 10 normal Boyz, one of them has a Rokkit Launcha, while the boss knob is armed with 2 Killsaws. And now, my favorite unit, the Squighog Boyz. 3 wonderful Orks on Squigs and their loyal Bomb Squig. If I could get the Bomb Squig to explode on Typhus, it would be a great achievement. And finally, I also chose the Nob on Smasha Squig. So far, I have never been able to see him charge in the last few games, but this time, I absolutely have to do it. The rule that allows him to inflict mortal wounds on the charge makes him super useful against the Death Guard. Let's see how it goes.
I have decided to deploy my units so that I can take the 2 objectives close to my drop zone and hold them. The Putrifier will take care of holding the objective, while Typhus and the Marines will be in charge of thinning out the Orks before they can charge. On the other side, the Poxwalkers will go and take control of objective 2.
The Death Guard is too far away to be able to charge in the first turn, so I have to position the units well in order to control the 2 objectives inside the hangars and remain covered from the sight of Andrea's troops in case he has the first turn. I have the Boyz and the Squigogs on the left flank, while on the right flank there are the Snagga Boyz, the Nob and Zodgrod. My main goal is to kill Typhus and it won't be easy.
Rolling for initiative. Green dice for the Orks and grey dice for the Death Guard.
Here we go, the Orks have the first turn.
As usual, the initiative is yours.
Winning the initiative will be useful for the rest of the game, but in the first round it's a complication. If I go too far I offer easy targets to the Death Guard, so I am forced to play the first round on the defensive, not quite an Orc style. The first to move are the Boyz, who enter the hangar and position themselves next to the objective. The Squigogs join them trying to take cover behind the hangar structure. Objective 4 is now under my control, and the Boyz have found a new home. The Snagga Boyz are far from the objective, so they have to advance. With a 5, they have enough movement to reach the objective and position themselves on the marker. The Nob on Smasha Squig follows the example of the Squigogs and moves behind the infantry unit. The last to move is Zodgrod, who needs to advance. With a 4, he manages to move within 3 inches of the unit in order to be protected from enemy fire. Objective 1 is now under my control too. In the shooting phase, I don't have many weapons available to use. The only one who can fire is the Rokkit Launcha, who shoots on the Putrifier, with a -1 on the hit roll because he moved. D3 shots, 2 shots at 6. Okay, 1 hit. With strength 8, I need a 3 to wound. As I imagined. I use a command point to reroll the dice. Okay, wounded.
-2 penetration, but thanks to the ability Armor of Contempt, I reduced the penetration by 1 and save with 3+. Easily saved.
Having nothing else to do, my first turn ends here. Pretty fast, I would say.
Okay, I can't afford to move too far this turn. I have to try to delay the Orks charge as much as possible, but at the same time, I also have to try to take out as many greenskins as possible. Then, the Putrifier moves to control Objective 3, while Typhus advances, and with a beautiful 6, he goes in front of the containers. The Poxwalkers, in a very disorganized way, reach Objective 2. The Marines move to have the Snaggas inside so they can shoot them. Psychic phase. Typhus tries to manifest Plague Wind on the Snaggas. On a 6+, I roll a dice for each model in the unit, and for every 6, the unit suffers a mortal wound. With 9+, I make a mortal wound every 5+. Oh, come on! Rerolling with a common point. 10! Rolling 15 dice for every 5+ is a mortal wound. 6 wounds! Awesome!
Wow, 6 dead, with no chance to do anything. Thankfully, the unit is made up of 15 models and there are still 9 left. I knew the Psychic phase was going to be a problem.
The second power that Typhus tries to manifest is Gift of Contagion on the Squigogs. At 5+, they have the strength reduced by 1 until the next Psychic phase. With 8+, they also have the attack characteristic reduced by 1. Let's see. 7! Just a -1 to the strength characteristic. Shooting phase. The only ones to shoot are the Marines, who target the Snaggas and fire with the bolt gun 4 shots at 3+. 3 hits. Strength 4 and toughness 5, wounding with 5. Just 1.
6+ to save him. Nope, another Snagga boy is dead.
Now the 2 plasma guns at 3+. Just 1. Strength 7, toughness 5, wounding with 3. Wounded.
Saving at 6. Ha! He's making a Snagga massacre.
To finish, 2 grenade launcher shots on 3+. Just 1. Wounding with 3. Wounded.
Another dice at 6. Yes! Finally 1 saved! There are only 7 Snagga boys left. This could be a problem. In the moral phase, the only ones who have to take the test are the Snagga boys, of course, but having already lost so many models, I can't afford to fail the test, so I use the stratagem Insane Bravery for 2 command points. This way, the unit passes the test automatically. As I said, the first round was difficult for me given the distance between the two armies. Typhus' Psychic phase is truly devastating. He alone has eliminated 6 Snagga. If nothing else, next turn I can go on the offensive and bring my Orks into close combat. It will be a decisive turn for this match, because if I fail the charges, Andrea could eliminate my units from a distance. Also, Typhus is a difficult model to kill. I will have to make the most of the mortal wounds that some of my models can inflict. Let the great fight begin.
This round went pretty well. Sure, I would have preferred to take out a few more Snaggas, but I'm happy with that for now. In the next round, I have to hope that Simone fails the charges so that I can do at least one more round with Plague Wind and finally eliminate the Snaggas. Then, if I manage to charge the Smasha Squig with Typhus, I would have a chance to secure victory. Next round!
At the start of the round, I earn 10 victory points thanks to the 2 primary objectives that I control. Then I recover a command point, reaching 2. The boys leave their new home behind and get closer to the enemy while remaining in control of the objective. The Squigogs, unable to pass through the hangar, go around it and settle next to the infantry, ready to charge. The 7 remaining Snagga come out of the hangar, eager to fight. They didn't like the treatment received in the last turn. Zodgrod takes the place of the Snagga in control of the objective. The Nob instead passes next to the hangar and prepares for the charge. The boys have finally entered range with the Snagga, so they start firing 6 shots with the pistol at 5 at the Putrifier. 3 hit, with strength 4 and toughness 5, I need 5 to wound. 1 was successful.
No penetration, so saving with 2+. 5! Nice!
The Rokkit Launcha tries again. D3 shots on the Putrifier. 2 shots at 6. Yeah, well, the shooting isn't quite the best quality of the Orks. Next to shoot are the Squigogs targeting Typhus. I don't have high expectations about that, but you never know. 3 shots at 5. All failed. It's time to release the little one, the Bomb Squig. He can inflict D3 mortal wounds on a 3+. It would be perfect for weakening Typhus. Go, little Squig! Oh no! I think he exploded prematurely. Rest in pieces, my friend. The Nob is also armed with Snagga and targets Typhus in front of him. 1 shot at 5+. The pistol was unloaded. He had forgotten to load it. Never mind. The Snaggas also joined the pigeon shooting by making 5 shots at 5+ with the pistol against Typhus. To hit, they wound at 5+? None, of course. There is also a Snagga with the Thump Gun shooting at him. Did 3 shots. 1 shot at 5. Failed too. The most incisive shooting phase in the history of the Orks. Finally, it's time for the charges. Squigs growl, Orks scream and clap their weapons on the chest. Here comes the green wave! The first to charge is the Nob Smasha Squig, which needs 8 to be able to charge Typhus. 10! And finally, the Nob succeeds in the charge. The Nob has the Smasha Head rule. When its charge is successful, he rolls 5d6, and for every 4+, the target suffers a mortal wound. 3 6s means 3 mortal wounds to Typhus. What a blow!
Ouch! Half the wounds gone with 1 charge. Okay.
The Squigogs push hard their squigs and charge. They need at least 10 to reach Typhus. And 10 they do! Fantastic! The 3 Squigogs are positioned next to the enemy general. Sandwich incoming!
In order not to leave Typhus alone, the Putrifier makes an heroic intervention and enters combat with the Squigogs.
Putrifier's movement was what I hoped for. His heroic intervention shortened the charge distance that the boys will have to travel. They need 8+ to get to the Putrifier. 5 is not enough. Thanks to the Orc rule, here we go, I can reroll the charge dice. 8! They also managed to reach their target and I positioned them in combat but at the same time in control of the objective inside the hangar. This is a bit of a gamble, but if succeeds, it will give me a lot of victory points. The last to charge are the poor Snaggas, and they have a really important role. They absolutely must be able to charge the Plague Marines in order to prevent them from reaching the Nob on their turn. That would be truly disastrous. Snaggas need 10 to charge. The first roll failed. I rerolled the dice thanks to the special rule of the Orks. 11! They made it! Orks never refuse a good fight. My right flank is now protected. They just need to survive long enough to protect their comrades in combat against Typhus. The Snaggas attack the Marines, starting with normal models making 17 attacks at 3+. 11 hit! With Strength 5 and Toughness 5, I need 4+ to wound. 5 wounds.
No penetration, so saving with 3+. 3 wounds through.
And now the Snagga Nob with his 3 attacks at 3+. 2 hit. His Power Snappa has Strength 7, so he wounds at 3. Okay, nice roll, really.
1 Marine lives and another is injured. It could have been worse. Before Simone can fight again, I spent 2 command points on the stratagem counter-offensive to fight with Typhus next. He targets the Nob Smasha Squig and unleashes 6 attacks at 3+. Ah, I see. Wounding with 3. Rerolling with a command point? Okay. 3 command points spent for this? I'm speechless.
I honestly didn't think he would survive. Well done, 2 wounds remained. Now it's up to the Nob to respond to Typhus attacks. With the Death Guard modifiers, I can roll the Nob and Squig attacks together. That's 6 attacks at 3+. Only 3 hit. With superior strength, they wounded 3. Ah, just 1 wound.
Saving with 2+. And here is the one. 2 wounds left.
All charging units start the fight before the others, so the Squigogs also attack Typhus. 9 attacks at 3 of the Orks. 6 hit. They need 4 to wound. 3 wounds. Not bad.
3+ to save this time. And nope. He's gone. I'm so disappointed in you.
That was huge. The last to activate are the boys, who focus their attacks on the Putrifier. 6 attacks at 3+ of the normal models. All but 1. They wound at 5. 2 wounds.
Saving at 2+. And the one is still there. 1 wound through.
The boss Nob is armed with 2 Killsaws, so he makes 4 attacks at 4. 2 hit. I reroll the dice with a command point. And again, 2. Never mind. At strength 10, the orc wounds with 2. Oh my god! Even wounding at 2 you can miss them!
Yeah, I know something about it. However, thanks to the Putrefier's relic, every time he takes damage I can roll a dice and on a 2+, the unit that inflicted the wounds suffers a mortal wound. Rolling the dice... 3! 1 mortal wound to the boys!
An orc down there dies. Don't ask me how he died being so far away, Papa Nargol works in mysterious ways.
Finally, it's up to the Putrefier, who with his plug knife unleashes 4 attacks at 3+ on the boys. Hitting 3. Same strength and toughness, so wounding with 4. Literally, 3 4s.
With -1 penetration I can't save them. It's evident that I will not be able to hold the objective, so I remove the models near it.
Well, now it's up to the Marines with their 10 attacks at 3 on the Snaggas. 7 hit, wounding with 3. Rerolling the ones thanks to the Plague Weapons rule. 4 wounds.
4 dice to save at 6 thanks to the invulnerability. Only 1.
And to finish off, the champion's 3 attacks on 3+. All hit, wounding with 3 for the higher strength. Rerolling the 1. Oh, come on!
Another dice to defend at 6. Ha, okay! Another saved! I didn't expect it. 3 other Wortsnaggas leave. In the moral phase, both orc infantry units must take the test. Let's start with the Snaggas who need 4 to pass it. Perfect! They passed the test! The boys instead need 3. Ha, nope! An orc escapes the battlefield. Combat attrition test. For every one another orc leaves. Only 1. 2 fewer orcs in the unit.
At the start of my turn, I earn 5 victory points thanks to the only objective under my control. Given the situation, I doubt that anyone can move, so let's go straight to the shooting phase. The Putrefier is the only model that can fire, so he aims his inoculator gun at the boys and fires 1 shot at 3+. Okay, combat phase.
In the combat phase, the Squigogs start first attacking the Putrefier with 9 attacks at 3+ of the orcs. Ha! How many ones? 5 successful attacks. With strength 6, they wound at 3. And only 3 wounds.
Saving with 3+? All 3, nice!
3 Gretchen attacks on 3+. 2 successful hits. Strength 3 and toughness 5, I needed 5. Not even 1. 6 Squig attacks at 3. All of them! Good Squigs! Strength 6, so wounded 3. 4 wounds.
Saving 4 dice at 2+. All saved! Good job! The Putrefier tries to eliminate the boys completely, making 4 attacks at 3+. Hitting 3, wounding with 4. Just 2.
2 orcs die. Only 2 boys left. The survivors respond to the attack. 3 attacks at 3 with the normal orc. Great! All 3. He wounds at 5. 1 wound.
Saving with 2+. Easy enough.
The boss knob makes 4 attacks at 4+ instead. Rerolling with a command point. It becomes more and more evident that it's better not to reroll the missed dice. Strength 10, so he wounds at 2. Ha! At least this time he managed to wound.
Saving with 5+. Ouch! He might die.
D3 wounds each attack. 1 wound plus 2 wounds, which however are reduced to 1 due to the death card rule, so there is 2 total wounds.
Having taken damage, I can roll to see if I can do a mortal wound to the boys on a 2+. Yes! 1 more orc bites the dust. The Putrefier is left with 1 wound.
And only the boss knob remained.
The next 2 fight are the Marines on the Snagga. 10 attacks on 3+. Just 3. Wounding with 4. At least they all wounded.
3 wounds to save at 6. Only 1. Not much of my infantry remains.
And now the champion, 3 attacks at 3+. Just 1. Wounding with 3. Wounded.
Again, I need 6 to save him. Nope. In both units there is only the boss knob left. I doubt that they will stay for much longer, however, they will soon have to take the moral test. The remaining Snagga attacks the Marines by making 3 attacks at 3 with the Power Snappa. 2! Strength 7 this time, so he wounds at 3. 1 wound.
Saving with 4+. I guess 6 is enough.
Here we are at the moral phase. 2 infantry units must take the test again. Let's start with the Snagga champion who needs 4 or less. Wow, he's determined to fight to the end. Well done! And now, the boy, 4 again. And he also makes a 1! He couldn't be less than the other champion. I'm proud of you. This turn was really good. I didn't expect to be able to charge with all units. It went much better than I hoped for. I managed to kill Typhus, who was the most difficult model to deal with. Thanks to this success, I got points for the secondary objectives Abort the Witch and Slay the Warlord. In addition, I have eliminated more units than Andrea this turn, so I also take victory points for attrition, reaching 25 victory points in total. I gained a good advantage that Andrea will now struggle to recover.
Unlike the previous round, this one was a disaster. Typhus is already dead, the Putrifier is left with 1 wound, and Simon is extremely ahead with victory points. The only way I can win is if I manage to eliminate both the Snagga and the boy remaining, and then Nob Smasha Squig. Also, the Putrifier must stay alive. I think it will be very hard, but it can happen. Next turn.
In this turn, I will have to try to hold Andrea's troops as much as possible, while I continue to earn victory points with the primary objectives. Thanks to the 2 objectives that I control, I earn 15 points, reaching 40 victory points in total. The last remaining boy disengages from combat to avoid eliminating the unit. The Nob Smasha Squig instead approaches the Marines to make sure it doesn't fail the charge. The only one who can shoot in this phase is the Snagga boy. With his pistol, he makes a shot at 5+ against the Marines. It's not enough. Charge! The Nob, being 2 inches away, can charge automatically. Thanks to his ability, I roll 5 dice, and for every 4+, it's a mortal wound inflicted. 2. Alright.
1 Marine collapses to the ground, and another is left with 1 wound.
The Nob starts the fight first, and between him and the Squig, they make 6 total attacks at 3+. 5 hit, wounds at 3, 4 wounds. I roll a dice with a command point. Okay, thank goodness, 5 wounds.
Saving at 4+, 3 wounds saved. 4 Marines left in the unit.
After eliminating the Marine, the Nob consolidates.
It's up to the Putrifier with his magnificent 4 attacks at 3+ on the Squigogs. All hit, wounding with 5, 2 hit.
2 dice at 5 to save them. Literally, I like it. Next to fight is the Snagga boy, 3 attacks at 3+. Only 1. I think he's a little tired. He wounds at 3. Yeah, he's definitely tired.
It's the Marine's turn. They split the attacks between Nob and Snagga, starting with 4 hits at 3+ on the Snagga. Just 1. Wounding with 4. Wounded.
Invulnerability at 6. Nope, a wound inflicted to the Orc.
Now the champion. 3 attacks at 3+ on the Nob. 2 hits. Wounding with 4. Rerolling 1 with a command point. Nope, just 1 wound.
I need 5 to save him. Here it is! Today I don't miss the 5.
And the Marines lost 2 hits on the Nob at 3+. Both hit, wounding with 5. Rerolling the ones thanks to the Plague Weapons rule. Nothing to do.
The last to fight are the Squigogs, who make 9 attacks at 3 against the Putrifier. 6 hit, wound at 3. 3 wounds to the Putrifier.
Saving at 3+, 1 wound through. This means that the Putrifier is dead, and with him goes my chance to win this game. Victory to the Orks.
With the damage taken in the first round and the long distance for the Orc charges, I began to think that I would lose this match. The second round was really decisive. If even 1 unit had failed to charge, the outcome of the game would have been totally different. I finally managed to use the Nob Smasha Squig. I have to say I liked him a lot and he's definitely useful in combat with his ability to inflict mortal wounds in charge. It was a good fight. My Orcs enjoyed it.
This match has started so well. If Simone had failed a few charges, it would have been easier. Once again, the dice didn't help me, or at least from the second round onwards, they fell asleep. The Nob Smasha Squig is truly devastating. If you ever find him against you, I strongly recommend that you take him down before he can charge.
And with this, we conclude. If you like our content and want to help us grow the channel, we have an account on the platform Buy Me a Coffee where you can support us with donations. Any help you can give us to improve the channel is welcome. We are counting on you. The link is in the description.
And if you have come this far, write the word CHARGE in the comments to let us know. You are the best. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys!
See you next video!